What's up, y'all? My name is Emily, and I am here to overshare. Hello. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I hope you are well. I hope you're doing well today, and I just hope that all is well. And even if it isn't, I hope you are doing your best to be okay. Today's video, I basically just want to talk about something that I also feel I'm struggling with in this present moment, and I want to share my experience with it, and I hope that maybe there will be someone that will be relate and kind of also, is just doing their best to get, past this experience. And I want to say that it's been feeling like I'm struggling with a form of depression in some sense, where I have been feeling depressed, just based off what my life situation is right now. And I've really been fighting to just stay strong, to keep the faith, to keep hope alive, and to just trust that everything is going to be okay. And today I want to say this weekend I just got to the point where maybe I felt like I just wanted to run away from it all, or escape from it all. And just based on the things that I did, not that it was anything bad, but I basically tried to just keep myself feeling good, or feeling like in a state of, despite the fact that everything is not okay, that I am okay, I am alive, I am well. And just realizing that, yeah, despite me doing all of that, it kind of still didn't change anything, or it didn't make anything, like the circumstance change in whatever fashion. But in the sense of believing that everything is going to be okay despite that, or whatever, me doing that, feeding that narrative of I'm going to be okay, has been helpful. And I think I just want to share my experience to help somebody else that may be experiencing the same. And to start it off, I think I just want to talk about the symptoms, or the things that you kind of feel, or the indicators that you're in a state of depression in some sense. And to start it off, I want to start with feeling overwhelmed in all aspects. And this is physically, emotionally, mentally, just feeling overtaken by these experiences enough that you kind of feel like you don't have a sense of control over it. And naturally, we tend to go to just fight over having control over things and situations. And the truth of it is that you will never have control over everything, or even anything at all. The best you can do is maybe lead with intention towards an activity or a state of being, and just leave the rest to whatever happens, and just trust that it will be well. And when it is that it's not well, you just find a solution for it. At least I think I've come to understand life to be just that. But despite that, it doesn't take away the fact that I still struggle with, my mental well-being, my emotional state, the physical well-being. I still struggle with that. And being somebody that, was physically active, going to the gym, doing all of these things, and being so overwhelmed or exhausted to the point of not even feeling motivated to do this, it kind of leads me to a point of beating myself up or feeling bad for not living up to that which I used to before. And even with that, I'm just learning that I don't have to guilt myself over it, right? I can, however, just recognize that to be the case and be in that state and know that when the time comes or when I feel able to, I will jump back on it and I will get into that. And emotionally, I think for me, it's been a lot of anxiety or feeling anxious because of this lack of control that I feel I have over my situations right now. And I've done my best to just allow myself to let that anxiety be, to let it out, to express it, whether, it's in the form of tears or, just expressing it vocally. I've done my best to exercise that. And when I think about also how I've also been trying to cope, or the coping methods that I've been taking on, and not realizing that they've kind of been trying to just, manage the anxiety or put it down or like just stuff it down, as opposed to letting it be and just letting it out. It's helped me to just ease off of that and to recognize that I don't need to do that, or I don't necessarily have to depend on that coping mechanism. And it's usually just out of maybe wanting to use a substance to kind of mellow out, the feeling or the experience of that anxiety. And that, I think, is something I will continuously be working on in just every aspect of my being. And I do hope to get to the point of not needing a coping mechanism or like a substance to use to cope, and to just be able to be present enough and to be accepting enough of what is, that I don't have to escape what it is, because I feel whenever it is that we go for a substance, you're just trying to kind of escape the reality of what is. And maybe just, even if you still have it in your mind, there's a sense of escapism you're creating out of doing that. And not to demonize it or to put someone down on it. Like, I personally choose not to do that because I believe in being gracious with myself, or just being graceful in the fact that, okay, I recognize this for what it is. Maybe I may not quit it today or tomorrow, the day after, but eventually I'm working towards that part. And I think based on also how other factors are within your life experience, you can get to that point eventually, but it's a work in progress, and don't beat yourself up for that. But another thing that I find to be a symptom of depression, at least for me, I experience an inability to ask for help. I'm never able to just say that, hey, I'm not okay, things are not going good for me. Because I don't know if it's a pride thing or if it's just, I don't know if it's a conditioned sense of being that I have to feel like I have to figure it out for myself. And that I'm still exploring. I'm still trying to get to understand that part of me. But that inability to ask for help, I want to combine that with the inability to explain or express why you feel depressed or you feel like you're in a state of depression, because it's so many things all happening at the same time that are creating this it's such a deep sense of sadness or defeatedness. I don't know if that's the right word, but you feel so defeated by what your circumstances are that it just creates an overwhelming sense of sadness in you. And because you're unable to word it or express it, then you're also unable to ask for help because you don't know what exactly it is. Or whatever the solution you may have in mind, it's not like you can ask for one person to kind of give you that solution, right? It's like a constant work in progress. You have to really work through the process of solving the problems that are causing you to be in a state of depression, right? And some may take days, weeks, months, even years, but you can work your way out of it. And I think it's just wanting to get it done immediately, or get that part done, or get past that you're still fighting within yourself, and realizing that reality of it is not going to be that way. The reality of it is not going to be that way. That it's going to take work, it's going to take consistency. It might not happen overnight, it might not happen in weeks or months, but eventually it will come to pass, that you will overcome this circumstance. And that is also an indicator for me that even I myself struggle with. I struggle very much with asking for help. And also, I think that feeling of I'm going to be a burden to somebody, for me, that also just like completely just disables me, or paralyzes me to the point of wanting to just say, hey, I'm not okay, can you help me with this? And not wanting to feel like I'm putting this on you, and it's a problem that I have to deal with, or it's a problem that I am experiencing, and not wanting to put that on you. It's this vicious cycle of just a war within myself, to not want to feel like a burden, and to not want to put this on somebody else, because it's my responsibility to take care of it, And that for me is an indicator that I'm not okay, especially if it is that I need dire help, That, yeah, is a struggle for me. And another thing is just exhaustion. Just feeling physically exhausted, emotionally exhausted, mentally exhausted. That you feel so detached or disconnected with even the things that, would bring life into you, or would bring that sense of joy in you, right? That you feel you don't want to take part in this, or you're too tired to even want to do this. And for me, whenever it is that I think I'm in a state of depression, I always feel too tired. I could sleep for 8 hours and I'll still wake up feeling like, oh my God, And for me, that usually is an indicator that, yeah, maybe I'm not doing okay. And I don't want to say that is the case for everybody. Everybody experiences it very differently. For others, it may be that you just lack sleep, or you're not able to sleep because your mind is not at ease, or you're not able to be at rest within your mind, because it's just in a constant, flux of motion, or just wanting to figure this thing out. I don't know. For me, my struggle is usually just feeling tired, just feeling so unbelievably tired. And to think about how my job is very much a physical thing, and there are times where maybe I'm feeling depressed and I just feel so tired to even do something, or I don't feel like I have the energy to take part in something. It's the worst. It's the worst. And knowing that you still have to show up despite the fact of you feeling that way, because you still have to keep everything else afloat within your life, a place to live, bills to catch up on for the services that you want for you, phone, internet, TV, this, that, whatever. All these things, they're still, coming up every month, and you have to show up in order to be able to make these things happen, or to keep these things paid off or taken care of. Because if you don't, then you lack in this aspect, which might only lead you into an even deeper place of, depression, or a sense of lack, or inability to take care of things for you. So those are usually my indicators. And I also want to, on top of that, to kind of add self-examination on my part on how I go about it, right? And I have a few pointers. I hope to get through past all of them, or to get through all of them, because I literally just picked a pen and I just went on and on and on, and hopefully I'm able to get past all of these things. And a self-examination to basically work yourself or work your way out of that state. Number one, I want to say is identify the different areas in your life that you are struggling in. Personally, right now, I'm in a state where I'm struggling financially because I don't have like a consistent flow of money to basically sustain my life situation and all the things that come with it. And it feels like it just weighs down on me, because when I think about also the amount of effort and work I put in, and it doesn't match up to the work that I'm putting in physically, and then I feel unable to take care of some things, or I feel overwhelmed basically to meet certain needs, and it just puts me in this place of like, oh my God, I feel so defeated, but a thing that will help is just identify that for what it is, and just be like, okay, this is an issue, this is something I'm struggling with, this and this and this and this and this, whatever other things that are happening in your life experience that may resort to you feeling a sense of sadness and, just feeling overwhelmed. Another one is acknowledging the present moment as it is, your situations, and accepting that is how it is. So basically just acknowledging that things are the way that they are and not fighting it, not resisting it, just being like, okay, this is the situation, these are the things as they are, and just listing them down if you have to, just write it down. Maybe I owe this, this and this is what it is, like break it down like that for you to just be able to see it for what it is, and not fighting it, not resisting it, and not like maybe escaping it in some sense, Another one is doing the work to resolve different situations based on what is available to you and the resources you have. After identifying what it is that you're struggling with, doing the work. And this, I feel, it's not like it's something you will do in a day or a week and be done with. There are things that will require you to do the work, maybe even if it's a span of years, to work yourself out of it. But the big thing is to just identify it and to say that, okay, I am committing myself to doing this to help myself get out of this, to fix this problem, to solve this problem, and to go from there. And in different aspects of that timeline, maybe there will be a moment where your resources are very limited, and the best you can do is just allocate your resources in with whatever you have. Allocate that according to that which is, priority. You have to kind of prioritize that this is what is urgent, and just go from that, and then work towards that. Work in the order of priority. Whatever is like number one in the list of priority, take care of that, and then move to the next, and then move to the next, move to the next. At least that's what I'm doing right now. Another one is communicating to someone you trust and feel safe to confide in about your struggle. I want to say there's that person that you feel like is your trusted, confidant, or a safe space where you can talk to them about it. I feel like that goes a long way to do that, because then you're not suffering with that alone. You're not in that space or stuck in that space of feeling like you're alone. And when you do get to that point, it's the hardest. Like, it feels almost impossible to get out of that state that you're in. And if you can find someone that you can communicate to and tell them that this is what I'm struggling, this is what I'm going through, and you can tell them that right now this is what I'm feeling, right now this is what I'm dealing with, right now this is what I'm working on. Just that person that you can tell to, the things that you're taking on, the things that you're doing, the state that you are in. I believe it helps greatly in the process of you doing the work to get yourself out of that state. And maybe it could mean a therapist, maybe it could mean a friend, depending on whatever it is, right? personally, right now, I'm unable to see my therapist because it requires money. But with that, it doesn't mean that I'm not talking to somebody about it. I have somebody that I'm talking to about and telling them that, yeah, this is my state right now, this is what I'm feeling, you know. And also journaling. I journal a lot. I journal as well as I also tell them that, yeah, this and this and this is what I'm dealing with, this and this is what I'm struggling with, this is where I'm at. There's a level of comfort in knowing that I've shared this with someone and I'm not alone. There's somebody that could, you know, fill me up with hope and belief in myself to keep going. So yeah, I don't want to get into deep because I'm also trying to keep the video short. Okay, another one is identify your coping methods and do your best to maintain the healthy ones and reduce or stop the unhealthy ones. For me, my coping mechanisms, I want to say, or at least the healthy ones that I exercise greatly, are stretching, meditation, journaling, and those are things that I'm really trying to, you know, focus on and like rely on more, as opposed to maybe drinking, you know, or just trying to find a form of escape in the sense of substance use to kind of use that to cope. And it's not like it's always great all days. There are days where I'm just like, give me the whole bottle of gin because I'm going to drink. Or, you know, there are those days where I have that. And there are days where I'm like, okay, I'm going to put that aside. I need to center myself. You know, I need to just get back into myself. Whether it's in the form of meditation, in the form of yoga, whatever the case may be, I do that. Or whatever I feel like I'm able to do best, and I just delve into it. And it's very helpful because you're grounded in yourself. You're able to be present. You're able to be accepting of what is. And you're not fighting it. You're not resisting it. You're not opposed to it. It's just that. That's what it is. And that's just all it is, you know. And then from that, then you can form steps into changing your situation or your circumstance. Okay, and I'm not encouraging you to drink. Don't. I personally, like for me, I think that maybe I want to put that, maybe, I don't want to say, maybe it is addiction. I don't know. But what I've come to learn is that we all have our vices, right? We all have those things. And your vices don't exactly have to be alcohol or weed or whatever the case may be. Your vice could be food. Your vice could be television. Your vice could be whatever it is, you know. But you can just acknowledge that this is my vice. And maybe it does for me what it does for me when I need it. But I don't also have to over rely on that. I can just say, okay, no. I can put you aside. I can find other means or other alternatives to help me ground myself or regulate myself better, you know. And the thing on addiction, that one is also just a battle on its own, and it's something you just gotta work your way through. But maybe that one needs a different video. Anyways, next one. Acknowledging the role you play in the situation and forgiving yourself for it. I want to say with me, I think I've had to really come to the point of understanding my relationship with money or finances overall, and just recognizing how maybe my life experiences have led me to this position or this place. And being someone that grew up very privileged, there are things I never lacked, you know. I've had to really evaluate that. I've had to really come to understand that maybe there was a negative effect that also had on me as much as it was also positive that I never lacked. And there are habits that I have to cultivate now in this present moment to help me do better, or to help me show up better for myself and to recover, such that I'm not in this state anymore, or I'm not in this state again where I'm not struggling to pay a bill, to do this, to take care of this, to take care of that. Even though it's just an unfortunate thing that happened that was out of my control, but I don't want to be in this position anymore. I want to know that I'm secure enough to have like a fallback plan, or a thing that I can fall back on, or cushion that I can fall back on and take care of things while I'm still figuring out the rest, you know? So yeah, that's something I've had to basically sit down with myself and work on, and I'm still working on, you know, throughout the progress of my life. And I just hope that I will get to that point where, yeah, this is not a problem for me anymore, you know?